Welcome back to Mitchell Field. Dan Hilton here for game number 2 on Friday, game number 4 overall here in the East Coast Conference Championships. This one's the winner's bracket between STAC, 38 and 13 overall. That's St. Thomas Aquinas College for those keeping score at home. And LIU Post, the Pioneers, at 28 and 18 and 17 and 8 in the conference. Meanwhile, STAC went 20 and 5 overall in the ECC. They're on an 11-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Pioneers on a 3-game win streak. How we got here is Bridgeport fell to LIU Post 7-1 yesterday. Meanwhile, STAC taking on Malloy and outpacing the Lions 6-1 in that one. And getting right to the action, we've got Cepeda giving the pitch to the shortstop, the number 3 for the Pioneers, Joe Spitalerelli. And Spitaleri finds himself in a 2-2 count to the pitcher, Cepeda. Cepeda checks the sign, as we'll have the starting lineup for LIU Post in just a minute here, as we've got a full count to start this contest. That's a well-hit ball by Spitaleri, but underneath it and collecting the first out of the game.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the left fielder number 16.
The center fielder for STAC in Morgan. And now for your LIU Post Pioneers starting lineup. Of course, batting leadoff there was Joe Spitaleri. The number 16 left fielder, Kenny Daly, up to bat now in the 2 spot. Rob Andrioli is in the on-deck circle batting third. And the right fielder should be the center fielder, Anthony Majlicka, the designated hitter, number 44. And he'll be followed in the 5 spot by Zach Fritz, the first baseman, the number 20. This one hit to the third baseman. Up with it and over to first for the out. That's 2 outs as Scoreless made the play.
Now for the Pioneers, the center fielder, number 23, Rob Andrioli.
Andrioli now up to bat. Batting 6th and the catcher, number 15 for LIU Post, Thomas Asbady. The right fielder, Dave Brem, number 5. The third baseman, Jimmy Mendick, number 4. And then finally in the 9 spot, as Cepeda delivers. 2 outs now. Sal Girassi, number 8. And the pitcher we'll be seeing for the Pioneers, Noah Lorenzo, the number 19. It's right back to the pitcher, Cepeda, and he gives the underhand flip, and Drilly goes down. So a 1-2-3 inning to start this one off for the Pioneers, and that potent STAC offense will get a chance to respond here in the bottom of the first.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Leading off for the Spartans, the shortstop number 7, Joseph Pena.
Back here for the bottom of the first inning, that team that went 37-13 and 20-5 in the conference, that potent offense that led in most offensive statistical categories, will get their first crack at it here in day 2 of the ECC championships. Leading off, the number 7, Joseph Pena, the shortstop. The left fielder, number 3 in the on-deck circle, Juan Adorno. Bobby Morse, the number 15, playing first base, will be batting third as Pena takes the first one, a called strike. In the leadoff spot, the third baseman is Gelka, and the right fielder, number 47, Ding Kong, behind him. Pitch number 2 of the at-bat is a ball. Designated hitter after that, number 12, Dauber. The second baseman, Lucchesi, the number 8. Batting 8th, Morgan at center field. The catcher, Ruiz. And the number 23 is batting 9th. And, of course, we already got a look at Cepeda, the pitcher, number 24. It's popped up somewhere between short and left field, and it is the shortstop in Spinelli who's able to take a few steps back and collect. Now, much unlike game number 1, for those of us joining us for the second game today, both these pitchers, that being Chris Cepeda and now Noah Lorenzo, have a much different pace than the 2 starters we saw in game number 1. These both pitchers not wasting any time. That's a well-hit ball that goes foul from Juan Adorno. The 0-2, and Adorno watches that one go wide of the plate for ball number 1. Adorno batting .358 on the year with a .429 OBP and a .465 slugging percentage. And he's looking at a 2-2 count right now. The delivery, and Adorno cracks that one to center field, but running onto it and collecting easily is Andrioli.
Now that is for Spartans, the first baseman, number 15, Bobby Morse.
And that brings up Bobby Morse for his first at-bat of the afternoon. .282 hitter, .429 on base percentage, and a .465 slugging percentage. He takes ball 1 inside. You can hear the LIU Post contingent, the loudest crowd of the 4. Of course, STAC also having to travel the largest distance. That's a diving stop at third to throw over to first. Mendick to Fritz gets it done. That's another 1-2-3 inning. That time it's the Pioneers. And so the Pioneers will again be up to bat here in the top of the second inning, as we're still looking for our first hit in this one of the winner's bracket.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what STAC has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, STAC really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
Leading off for the Pioneers, the designated
In
hitter
that
number
top of
34,
the second
Anthony
inning,
Bazlica.
it only took Chris Cepeda just 10 pitches to go through 3 batters. Hit on the ground, a slow roller to short, and so that's an easy play over to first for the out.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the first baseman, number 20, Zach Fritz.
Pena was up with it in a hurry over to Morse. As the designated hitter, Anthony Bazlica couldn't get anything going. Zach Fritz, though, the first baseman, will try to get the first hit of the game for the Pioneers. Cepeda, a hard, hurdling right-hander. That time, the fastball found the strike zone, so now it's 1-1 with 1 out on Fritz. Cepeda misses on the third pitch of the at-bat. So yesterday in that win against Malloy, a 6-1 win, as a foul by Fritz makes it 2-2. He seems to be all right. It bounced in his direction, however, though. STAC, the number 21 team in the nation, yesterday beating Malloy 6-1 in game number 2 of these ECC championships. Pitcher of the year, Frankie Muscatiello, got through the first 2 innings on 20 pitches. And then first team all-conference selection, Giovanni Dingkong, hit his league-leading 15th homer of the season to open the second inning. And STAC really never looked back after that point. Count is 3-2. And you can hear both benches feeling differently about that pitch. Of course, the STAC side hoping for a strike. The Pioneer side agreeing that it was a ball. Now a chopper down the third base line. And now that's 5 straight outs to start this game for STAC.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the catcher, number 15, Thomas S. Beatty.
Thomas as Beatty steps up. Cepeda tied for 4th in the conference in wins with his counterpart today in Lorenzo, also with 6 wins this year. And the 3 players, as we had talked about the aforementioned Muscatiello, as well as Morris on the STAC pitching staff, and DeCarli on the LIU Post pitching staff, all 3 of them had 8 wins this year to pace the ECC. But today it's a matchup of the 4th place win getters in the ECC this year. It's Cepeda and Lorenzo. As Beatty, 1-2 count. Cepeda in the stretch, he deals. And it looks like that one is curling foul. But it hung up just long enough for Morse to get out to it. And he's able to collect. And this one moving at a pretty quick pace, as we don't have a hit yet. Obviously no runs, no errors, and obviously with no base runners, no one left on. As we are heading to the bottom of the second here at the East Coast Championships.
This is LIU Post.
We are pioneers in spirit and in practice.
On the boards.
And beyond borders.
This is LIU Post.
A leader in business.
An international destination for the arts.
An engine of experiential education.
Where entrepreneurs get their start.
Accomplished alumni give back.
And innovative degree programs connect.
for a 360-degree view of the world.
This is LIU Post,
where the pioneering spirit soars. LIU Post.
Lorenzo's first pitch of the bottom of the second is low and inside for ball one. As you can hear again, the wind picking up, much as it did in the latter half of game one. That's going to push balls down. It's a swirling wind. At times moving from left to right. And particularly for LIU Post, that's a weather that they are very well accustomed to on Long Island. That's a strike. 1-2. Now on the batter, Scoreless. Scoreless hits this one out to center, but underneath it is Andrioli for the out.
Now batting for the Spartans, the right fielder, number 47, Giovanni Ding-Kong.
Now we're seeing a first-team all-conference selection in Giovanni Ding-Kong. And Ding-Kong tied with Rob Andrioli out in center field for Post for tops in the RBI category with 40 apiece in the ECC. Lorenzo throws ball one to Ding-Kong. But more impressively, talking about multifaceted game, Ding-Kong also had 23 steals. I put him second behind the Brian Murphy, a guy that had 3 stolen bases in game one today. And that's just one in front of Andrioli. So another player who likes to get on the base pass. But this time Ding-Kong can't do much of anything on that fastball from Lorenzo. So he strikes out. Lorenzo's first K of the game. And that'll bring up Greg Dauber, the designated hitter. Dauber makes contact, but got underneath it. That's going to loft it into shallow left field. Daly runs onto it and makes the play. So now we've got 6 up and 6 down in the second inning, and we move on to the top of the third. Here still awaiting a hit from either side in this Game 4 of the East Coast Championships.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
right fielder number 5, Dave Brem.
Right fielder Dave Brem will get things going at the plate, the right-handed hitter. Cepeda continues to deal. Neither team's a lot of hits so far. We've seen 12 batters so far faced. Here's Cepeda. That's a strike again. Cepeda feeling it here through 2 pitches, of course. But for those that were with us through game 1 for today, and throughout yesterday as well, and there's a bouncing ball. It bounced twice, but easily recovered by Uchezi over to Morse for the out. First out of the top of the third. But as we mentioned, if you were with us through game 1 and through the 2 games yesterday, you were promised almost an encore performance from LIU Post and STAC, teams that collectively scored 13 runs in the 2 games yesterday. As we'll get through some of their offensive numbers this year. STAC were, again, they did play 51 games compared to LIU Post 46, so that is a 5-game difference, but still, STAC's number is pretty staggering, and you have to think that even if they both played 46, that STAC still would have led the categories they did, as this one bounced right on the fence leading into the dugout. So Morse was unable to make a play on it. So it will be 0-2 to the batter Brem when everybody gets reset. But STAC led the conference in runs, hits, triples, home runs, RBIs, walks, strikeouts, surprisingly enough, caught stealing, and slugging percentage. So STAC almost 100 more RBIs this season than Post. STAC finished with 318, Post with just 215. Stolen bases almost identical. LIU Post with 95, STAC with just 94. That's a strikeout by Cepeda. Gets it Brem swinging. Yeah, that's a correction. Got Jimmy Mendick, the third baseman, swinging for out number 2. That brings up the 9-hitter. And this one fouled off down the third base line and out of play. Sal Girassi, the second baseman. Cepeda, a little bit of mustard on that one. It took one hop over at short, and Pena able to finish the play to Morse. So that's 9 Pioneers batters, and still looking for their first hit. But the Spartans haven't gotten one either, but they come up in the bottom of the third to try to change that here at the East Coast Championships.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Nick Lucchese steps in for STAC. The freshman infielder batting .290 this year with a .314 on-base percentage and a .389 slugging percentage, the number 8. The Spartans playing with their stylish pinstripe uniforms. And while usually in the north you don't see the different colorful and interesting uniforms that you might see down south, that's good contact, but that's lined right into the glove of the second baseman, Girassi.
Now batting for the Spartans is center fielder number 1, Michael Morgan.
Now the center fielder, Michael Morgan, the left-hander, steps into the box. The left-handed Lorenzo, the first left-hander we're seeing today. The bunt fouled off. So now 1-1 on Morgan. Lorenzo with 27 pitches has garnered 7 outs. That take a astute mathematician. That means that he's gone 3 pitches on every batter. And as I say that, now that was pitch number 3 to Morgan. So a 2-1 count. And that's a good way to see 2 guys go the full 9. That's a pop-up, and Morgan is put down by Mendick at third base.
Now batting for the Spartans.
It was in foul territory, but Mendick had plenty of time to get underneath it. 2 outs for the 9-hole hitter, Chris Ruiz, the catcher. The left-hander delivers this one to Mendick, and Mendick, the throw just a little high, but easily controlled there by Fritz. So still no hits, no runners on base. So both these pitchers settling in and dealing. It's becoming a pitcher's duel in a game with promised offense here on the East Coast Conference Championship winners bracket.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Leading off for the Pioneers, the shortstop number 3, Joe Spitaleri.
Joe Spitaleri, the shortstop at the top of the order, comes back up for round number 2. Here at a perfect top of the 4. We've had 18 total batters up, and we've had 18 total batters down through 3 innings. So paint it inside on that one. LIU Post is one of the more challenging opponents that STAC have played in their 11-game win streak. Not to mention a 3-game win streak for LIU Post. That one fouled off. Couldn't tell if it hit him in the foot, as Spitaleri seems to be taxing just a little bit after that one. But no coaches have come over to have a word with him, so I think he just loosened himself back up. So it'll be 2-1 when Spitaleri steps back in the batter's box. The junior, .310 hitter. 15 RBIs on the year. Cepeda. And that's a strike right down Main Street. 2-2 now. And 4 pitches with a little bit of a delay means that this is the longest at bat so far in this game, which is just incredible to think. And this at bat will continue, as that one, the umpire says, just a little bit high. So 3-2. It's a full count on Spitaleri. And believe it or not, again, through 18 batters, the first full count of this game 4. Spitaleri makes contact, and we've got the first hit of the game through Joe Spitaleri here in the top of the 4th. It dropped in front of the center fielder Morgan. And so the Pioneers have to be happy that they've got the first bit of offense started here. But again, the base runner just at first base. A whole 270 feet away from home plate. Cepeda tried to make it a quick trip for Spitaleri with the pitch out. Daly, the 266 hitter, takes ball 1. This one chopped to the second baseman. He couldn't get to second in time, so he gets over to first for the out. But the runner advances. Spitaleri now over to second. And Daly will head back to the dugout. Rob Andrioli. As we talked about, a dynamic player, not only in the field patrolling center field, but he bats .368 for the Pioneers. That's first on the team, and first on the team by a pretty good margin. Only Spitaleri bats above 300 as well at .310. So a whole .058 percentage points away. And Andrioli, .431 on base percentage, .514 slugging percentage. Also tops on the team. And Cepeda starting to miss a little bit now. An early 2-0 count to Andrioli, the junior outfielder. As we talked about, also 22 steals. Good for a tie of third in the conference with Dingkung. Andrioli gets a piece of it, but it is fouled on the left field line. Two and one on Andrioli. Andrioli again hits this one out of play. Now it's 2-2. Get man on second. One out here in the top of the 4th. The only base runner so far in the game is Spitaleri. You can feel the first big moment. You could hear the crowd, the STAC crowd to our left. They knew this was a big moment here, so it's out to right field. And making the stop making the catch, backtracking was Lucchese. And not only is that out number 2, but they were able to double up Spinelli, who was already on his way to third. So a little mishap, should we say, on the base pass by LIU Post. Ends their top of the 4th early. So STAC will get the bats back in the bottom of the 4th, trying to get their first hit of the game.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Joseph Pena leads off here, the bottom of the 4th inning for the Spartans. Lorenzo continuing to deal. Has not allowed a hit yet, or even a base runner at that, through 9 batters. This is now the 10th batter he's facing. And even with all the batters that have gone up and down, Lorenzo has just 1 strikeout. And just as I say that, he makes it number 2. Pena goes down swinging. It brings up Juan Adorno. Adorno, a .358 hitter, .494 slugging percentage. Impressively for Adorno, in 81 at-bats, because he did miss some time this season, Adorno only has 13 strikeouts. But he finds himself in a quick 0-2 count here in this one with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. And I see a strikeout called here. This is interesting. Adorno thought he got hit, but instead the umpire down the first base line says that his check swing went around. So in the first big call of the game, instead for STAC getting their first base runner, they get a 2nd out at the bottom of the 4th. And so that will bring Scott Muscat out of the dugout. And if you're an umpire who has umped an ECC game, Scott Muscat, in most of the last 20 years, as in his 18th season, he has been patrolling the dugouts of St. Thomas Aquinas. So you have to expect that a conversation must be coming over the course of, again, 18 seasons. Longest tenured in the ECC. Again, Joe Fucarino, in his 12th season for Malloy, is the 2nd longest tenured here in the ECC championships. Mike Gaffney of LIU Post is, we'll say, the newbie in town but he's in his third season, and Lorenzo is no newbie to ECC hitters, and he is dealing so far. 3 up, 3 down once again. Now 12 batters faced and 12 put down by Lorenzo, and we head to the top of the 5th.
This is LIU Post.
We are pioneers in spirit and in practice.
On the boards.
And beyond borders.
This is LIU Post.
A leader in business.
An international destination for the arts.
An engine of experiential education.
Where entrepreneurs get their start.
Accomplished alumni give back.
And innovative degree programs connect.
For a 360-degree view of the world.
This is LIU Post.
Where the pioneering spirit soars. LIU Post.
Leading off the inning for the Pioneers, the DH number 44, Anthony Vaglica.
Here in the top of the 5th, Anthony Vaglica, the designated hitter. Cepeda has allowed just 1 hit in this game, and he gets the first strike here in the top of the 5th. And how impressive has Cepeda's run of form been recently? Well, as we mentioned, the 1 hit in this game coming last inning, Joe Spitaleri got a single with the ball hit out to center field. Well, before that, Cepeda hadn't allowed a hit in 13.1 innings. His last hit, and I do mean hit, coming on 4/28 versus Malloy. So just over 2 weeks ago. Because in that time, he had a 7-inning no-hitter versus Mercy on his own, should we say. That no-hitter was, again, not finished by Cepeda that game, should we say. And he's got a 1.22 ERA over his last 4 starts even. The 0-2. And Vaglica stays alive. While the designated hitter today, usually the catcher in Vaglica, the 3rd most at-bats this year for the Pioneers, behind Andrioli and Brem. He's got a .275 average. And he kept the bat on his shoulder to take ball 1. Here's Cepeda. And he gets Vaglica swinging on the off-speed pitch.
The first baseman, number 20, Zach Fritz.
Second strikeout of the game for Cepeda. Zach Fritz steps up. Fritz, the freshman, has fit in pretty well in the ECC, batting .260. 19 RBI. Cepeda, the 0-1 to the right-handed Fritz. And looks like we're seeing here a different strike zone, or at least you'd have to say a more acute strike zone than the first game, as this one is chopped over to third base. So Yelja comes up with the play. Thomas Beatty is the next Pioneer hitter to face Cepeda, who's allowed just one hit and one base runner today. This one bunted perfectly down the third base line. What a beautiful bunt by Thomas Beatty for the second hit of the game and the second base runner for the Pioneers.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the right fielder, number 5, Dave Grimm.
Just a picture-perfect bunt down the third base line. And as we had talked about STAC's power numbers, while LIU Post did hit 22 home runs, they were more than doubled up by the 48 from STAC. And we talked about 100 RBIs separating the two teams. The Pioneers find how to win games, whether it's through their pitching, with Lorenzo having a masterclass 4 innings so far, and just getting base runners on any way they know how. As Beatty with 14 steals is, what do you say, moderate to above moderate threat. And that is out number 3. It was hit on a dime to Morse, who kept it from going out of play. Kind of brought it back in, if you will, as it was on the bounce and careening out. But Morse got out number 3. So just 2 hits and 2 base runners throughout this whole game. They both came for the Pioneers, and STAC will again try to get somebody 90 feet down to first base.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what STAC has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, STAC really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
Anthony Scoreless steps in. Scoreless, the junior, 308 hitter with a 424 on-base percentage. That leads the Spartans. So if any guy's going to get on base, they're going to hope that Anthony Scoreless can do it. But they're, again, them being the Spartans, are going to have to wait once more. Andrielli easily moves over to his right about 20 feet for the first out.
Now batting number 47, Giovanni Dinkon.
With Andrioli out patrolling center field, it's a difficult task to get the ball where he's not anyway. But it's made that much harder today by the tough-throwing lefty in Lorenzo. That's the first hit of the game for STAC. It comes off the bat of who else but the first-team all-conference selection in Giovanni Dinkon, the right fielder.
Now batting.
seems like this is that moment in the game where hitters starting to figure things out. As Beatty trying to keep Ding Kung honest at first base. It's a foul, so Ding Kung is going to have to go back to first base. And the designated hitter, Greg Dauber, now in an 0-2 count with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Two hits to 1 hit. The only real things that separate these two teams today so far. Dauber fouls that one off. So now 1-2 the count. Lorenzo deals. And that's another ball on Dauber. 2-2 the count now. Dauber, the senior, 307 hitter. And Dauber is able to get it down the third base line. Rounding second, heading for third is Ding Kong. The throw came in the second. So now there's a man on first and a man on third with just 1 out here at the bottom of the 5th inning for the Spartans.
STAC, the second baseman, number 8, Nick Lucchese.
Nick Lucchese finds himself in an early 0-2 hole. It's 1 out, men on first and second. Lorenzo just allowed his first hit this inning, as that one again fouled down, out of play, the third base line. Lucchese had 26 RBIs on the season. And he's a deadly 7th hitter, as he saw his spot in the lineup fluctuate a few times this year. The pitch out over to first. Okay, just to keep the runner honest. And we've got another strikeout for Lorenzo. His 3rd of the game. Sits down Lucchese.
The center fielder, number 1, Michael Morgan.
And with a man on third, now we've got a much different situation where any ball last at bat to the outfield would have been a sac fly, but now this one's got to get through for Michael Morgan, the center fielder. The left-hander, Morgan, and he takes strike 1 from Lorenzo. .55th pitching. Should be 55th pitch for Lorenzo. Morgan was trying to force the third baseman, Mendick, to have to make a decision, and he was hoping that a slight bit of hesitation would score the run and allow him the time to get to first. Now the runner going, and that's a ball. So it's 1-2 the count. And that was Dauber who took second. Now Morgan watches ball 2. It's 2-2 the count. 2 outs, men on second and third. Lorenzo with 5 Ks now. Lorenzo, the lefty, deals and make it 6. His first bit of danger as he allowed his first hit in the bottom of that inning. But Noah Lorenzo continues a pretty good performance on the mound, as we are still scoreless here, heading to the top of the 6th inning with the Pioneers up to bat.
This is LIU Post.
We are pioneers in spirit
and in practice.
On the boards.
And beyond borders.
This is LIU Post.
A leader in business.
An international destination for the arts.
An engine of experiential education.
Where entrepreneurs get their start.
Accomplished alumni give back.
And innovative degree programs connect.
For a 360-degree view of the world.
This is LIU Post.
Where the pioneering spirit soars. LIU Post.
Jimmy Mendyke, the third baseman, leads off here in the top of the 6th inning. And it takes ball 1. Lorenzo with his 6 Ks. You'd barely say he's been the better pitcher because they've both allowed 2 hits and 2 base runners. And while Cepeda only has 2 strikeouts, he's not necessarily a strikeout pitcher. That's one fouled for strike number 1 down the first base line. Cepeda mixes a fastball. But we've already seen an off-speed pitch, and he's got a curveball as well. But this time, the curveball gets a hold of Mendyk, and he'll head to first base. Now the third base runner allowed for Cepeda. Cepeda usually hits high 70s on the gun, particularly on that curveball. Showing bunt is Girassi. And LIU Post knows in a pitcher's duel like this, just getting one coveted run across could prove to be the difference. And it looks like STAC maybe doubled them off. Yes, they did. The bunt did not work for Girassi as it floated right into the glove of Morse, and Lucchese was able to get over to double up Mendyk at first base. We have already seen a number of what you'd call winning plays by both these sides in this game defensively to keep this scoreless. Joe Spitaleri had the game's first hit, and he almost had the game's second hit, as that one is just foul down the third base line. Cepeda in the stretch, he deals. That one misses. 1-1 now. Spitaleri 1 for 2, and obviously has the first hit of the game. Now Cepeda deals the off-speed pitch, and that one finds the back of the catcher's glove. 2-2 with 2 outs. So imagine just 2 strikeouts for Cepeda so far. 5 for Lorenzo. Cepeda misses high. Now full count, 3-2 on Spitaleri. Cepeda in the stretch, deals the 3-2. Past the glove of Cepeda, but into the glove of the shortstop, over to first for the out. Pena to Morse once more, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, looking for our first run of this one.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Ruiz takes strike 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ruiz in the 0-2 hole to Lorenzo. The lefty. And on the 3rd pitch of the at-bat, it's over to Mendick, over to first for the out.
Now batting for STAC, the shortstop number 7, Joseph Pena.
It's just how efficient has Noah Lorenzo been. Just 63 pitches through 5 1/3. Lorenzo with Joseph Pena showing bunt. Pena 0 for 2 in this one. He takes a strike that time. 1-1 count now. Of all the good hitters on STAC, Joseph Pena leads the lot of them. 407 his average this year. 544 on base percentage and a 604 slugging percentage. 34 RBI for Pena. And this one is out of play. Lorenzo, the 2-2 pitch. Pena gets a piece of it, but Andrioli, always patrolling center field, is underneath it again.
Now batting for STAC, back to left fielder number 3-1.
And you notice that was the interesting thing where the first time through, both teams had trouble even making contact with the opposing pitchers. Second time through, now guys are making better contact. And it comes down to this third trip through if we could see the first run of the game. If either team could figure out Lorenzo or Cepeda. Adorno, the left fielder, is the next batter to attempt to figure out Lorenzo with his 6 strikeouts. And Adorno now working with a 1-1 count. Adorno watches ball 2. Lorenzo not wasting any time, but he throws another one, that time in the dirt. Trying the off-speed pitch, but couldn't get anything to it. Lorenzo on the 3-1, and we've got a full count now for the batter Adorno. Adorno taking his time. From Brooklyn, New York, the redshirt junior outfielder. And that's going to be on the inside part of the plate. Adorno and the STAC crowd don't like the call, but nevertheless, we are still scoreless, and we head to the 7th here in the winners bracket of the East Coast Conference Championships.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Left fielder number 16, Kenny Daly.
Through 6 innings, 69 pitches for Cepeda, 74 for Lorenzo, just 2 hits, and just 5 total base runners. Or should we say 2 hits for either team, so 4 total hits in this entire game. Again, less than 24 hours ago, these are 2 teams that scored 6 runs and 7 runs on ECC competition. That just tells you how good the pitching has been in this one today. Cepeda has done his damage, not with strikeouts, but instead just by getting hitters to either ground out or fly out. And Cepeda's also been backed up by some pretty good defense. On the other side for the Pioneers, Mendick over at the hot corner has made some astute plays. It just misses Kenny Daly, as he'll be followed by Rob Andrioli and the designated hitter Anthony Vedlika. So at least the 3 of them this inning. Here comes the 3-1 from Cepeda in the stretch. He deals. Finds the strike zone that time. Now a full count on Kenny Daly. Just 2 home runs for Daly this year. He did his damage with 10 doubles. But now he gets his 33rd strikeout of the year, and he'll head to the dugout as Sabina gets K number 3. But again, that brings up the ever-dangerous 368 hitter, Rob Andrioli. Led his team with 40 RBI. Led his team with 22 stolen bases. Again, easily led his team in average at 368. On base percentage at 431. Slugging percentage at 514. He had 39 runs. Andrioli. It's hit over to Pena. And as we've seen many times already, Pena to Morse puts away another batter. Cepeda. As Vedlika on the year. If there are no other base runners, he's got 36 RBI. Only 6 came on the long ball. But that was enough to pace the Pioneers. 6-4 Vedlika, 5-4 Aspady. As this one popped up, and it looks like it'll be, out of play behind home plate. And Andrioli had 4. The 0-2 upcoming from Cepeda. In the stretch, he deals. That one high. 1-2 on the batter. And 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Again, once you get really to the 6th, 7th inning, you do get that lingering feeling that one swing of the bat is going to be a difference in a game like this. Again, both starting pitchers still under 80 pitches, and we're in the 7th inning already. So both these guys conceivably could go 9. But you have to think between these two, with it being so close right now, it could take more than just that. Cepeda, the 2-2. This one looks like it'll be out of play, but just against the fence near the LIU Post dugout, Morse makes the play. Still the Pioneers await their first run of the game, and STAC, again in the bottom of the 7th, will try to get the first run of this one here in the East Coast Conference Championships.
This is LIU Post.
We are pioneers in spirit
and in practice.
On the boards.
And beyond borders.
This is LIU Post.
A leader in business.
An international destination for the arts.
An engine of experiential education.
Where entrepreneurs get their start.
Accomplished alumni give back.
And innovative degree programs connect.
For a 360-degree view of the world.
This is LIU Post.
Where the pioneering spirit soars. LIU Post.
Bobby Morse, the first baseman, he's made all those plays today defensively. Now he's trying to do something with the bat. Morse, that's out to Spinelli. Spinelli over to first, and scooping it up was Fritz for the out.
Now batting for the Spartans, the third baseman, number 38, Anthony Scoreless.
Skrelja 0 for 2 in this one. Like many of his teammates. As Lorenzo with his 6 Ks. Just 76 pitches. Skrelja over to left fielder. And Daly hasn't had to do much out in left today, but he cleans that one up. Now 2 outs.
The right fielder, number 47, Giovanni Dinkong.
The guy who got the first hit of the game for STAC. And again, a first team all ECC performer. Tries to do some damage against Noah Lorenzo. Something that not many have been able to do so far. And I do mean even so far this season. Ding Kong. That's a ball into the gap, so he'll get a single. And with 2 outs, STAC gets another base runner here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting for Spartans.
Lorenzo on the year, a 3.69 ERA. 6-1. And 40 strikeouts was for Lorenzo, just 3rd on his own team. That just tells you how good Jake DeCarli was. With his team leading and league leading 70 strikeouts on the year. And Molloy was reminded yesterday just how good Jake DeCarli for LIU Post can be. Ding Kong being kept over at first base. He's got 23 stolen bases. That's tops on STAC. And here he goes again, going for number 24. And Ding Kong not there in time. The throw by Asbady gets Ding Kong at second. And we head to the top of the 8th with one team trying to figure out who it's going to be to get straight into the Winners' Championship. And which team has to play Molloy coming up after this one.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what STAC has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, STAC really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
Zach Fritz, 0 for 2 on the day, steps back in against Cepeda. Winning 8th inning, but at just 84 pitches, Chris Cepeda has no reason to think that he'll be taken out of this one anytime soon. The teams are separated by just 1 hit, 3 for STAC, 2 for the Pioneers. The farthest anybody's got is third base. And that came in the 4th inning for the Pioneers. Excuse me, for STAC. And for STAC, even though he was picked off last inning, attempting to steal, a good throw by Thomas Asbady, the catcher for the Pioneers. Ding Kong has 2 of STAC's 3 hits. Fritz will have to wait for his first hit of this game as he flies out to the center fielder, Morgan. And that will bring up that man, Asbady, who sheared off his arm in the the bottom of the 7th inning, picking off the speedy Giovanni Ding Kong. Cepedi delivers. This one chopped to the first baseman. Morse over to Cepedi, who easily steps on the bag for the second out.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the right fielder, number 5, Dave Brem.
Dave Brem, the sophomore, second on the team in at-bats with 169 this year in the regular season, behind Rob Andrioli. And again, that's usually a precedent that's been set for LIU Post this year, is most statistical categories are someone other than Rob Andrioli being in the number 2 spot, because Andrioli already has the number 1 spot in that offensive category. Brem just 2 home runs, but 45 hits, so he found his way on base. Double-digit steals as well. And Brem could get something going here. And they say that that one was was in play. So going for the triple. Brem at third, his 4th triple of the year. You talked about that swirling Long Island wind. LIU Post knows it pretty well. And Brem's ball just seemed to be pretty accustomed to it as well. And that looked like it was foul down the first base line. But it kept hooking in as it left the bat. And then it kept hooking out so that the right fielder, Ding Kong, again, who's got some wheels to him, just could not make a play on it. This one right to Ding Kong, however. He doesn't have to go too much farther to his left this time to keep the Pioneers off the board. Still looking for our first run in what could be a deciding and decisive run to send one of these 2 teams to the finals, and the other one with a date with the Lions upcoming today here at the East Coast Conference Championships.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Bottom of the 8th now. STAC with another shot to try to get 1 run home. Greg Darber, the batter. Darber 1 for 2 in this game. Lorenzo at 86 pitches. Again, still with plenty of mustard left. There's Darber. To the gap, but it had a little bit too much underneath it. So Brem was able to come over and get the catch for the first out. Just if you're wondering at home how this final game of at least today will set up, if STAC, who have been home twice already in this ECC championship, as a diving stop at third base, Mendick over to first, and he out for Fritz.
Now batting for STAC, the center fielder number 1, Michael Morgan.
2 outs. So as we were discussing, STAC, they've been home twice already, so if they were to lose this game, they would be the away team and Malloy would be the home team. If it's LIU Post that wound up losing this game, it'd be a coin flip between Malloy and LIU Post, because both these teams have been the away team and the home team once in this ECC championship. And we have seen some superb defense already. That last at bat, it was Lucchese who was denied. And that's a strike. Just kissing the outside. Or excuse me, should I say, just kissing the corner of the plate. Lorenzo, and he's going to walk Morgan. He was high on that fastball. So a 2-out walk from Michael Morgan brings up Chris Ruiz, the catcher. The sophomore catcher, 257 at average. And Lorenzo, the lefty, a shifty move, throwing it sidearm for the pickoff attempt. But they couldn't get Morgan, who was only about 2 feet off the bag. That's a strike by Lorenzo. Ruiz watched it with the bat on his shoulder. So an 0-1 count on the sophomore catcher with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. No matter what happens, though, there's conceivably only 2 half innings and 1 out left of this game if a team is able to score. And so things are going to get exciting and pretty tense in a hurry here at Mitchell Field. But that's what you expect in the winner's bracket. Top 2 teams that have been in the national polls. The number 21 STAC still ranked. It's a 2-1 count for Ruiz. As Spady couldn't get over to first in time. And as we talked with 2 outs, Michael Morgan isn't too far off the bag. Knowing he has to go on contact. That's contact on the third base line, but it's fouled out of play. Two and 2 on Ruiz with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Man on first. Lorenzo nearing 92 pitches. And that one's high. Now another full count. Here's Ruiz just trying to make contact. Something that STAC hitters have been able to do now their 3rd time in the lineup. A little bit better than the first 2 attempts. That's going to be a strike. And Ruiz may not like the call, but Lorenzo puts away his 7th STAC batter. And we are headed to the 9th. Knotted up at 0-0. Looking for that vital 1 run that will see one of these teams off to the final.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Cepeda. He's gone 8 innings so far. He deals the 0-1. This one fouled out of play down the third base line. Cepeda still at 92 pitches. So you'd expect that, barring some Pioneer surge where they take their 3 hits and maybe double it, Cepeda will remain in this one for the 9th. And very few times this season have you had zeros across the board in terms of runs scored for either of these teams. That one also fouled out of play down the left field line. And what a difference that, again, 2 different baseball games can make. As here's Cepeda on the 1-2. This one popped high down the third base line. Underneath it, calling off everybody else, was Gelcha. And he hangs on to make the grab. But that first game, a 5-4 win, should we make that 6-4 win for Malloy over Bridgeport. It was about a 2.5-hour game. This one, meanwhile, only an hour and 40 so far. Joe Spitaleri, now for the 4th time this game, facing off against Chris Cepeda. It's a 1-1 count as Cepeda tries to attack the strike zone of Spitaleri. Good piece of hitting by Spitaleri. Finds a gap between right center field and Spitaleri. It seemed to know that he wanted to go to second the entire time. And the LIU Post faithful like what they see from their shortstop. He was a man on a mission. And he came flying right out of the batter's box. And again, he made the decision early that he was going to go for 2. I think they almost caught the Spartan outfield off guard as they had to run onto the ball And as they communicated, they being Ding Kung and Morgan, were communicating on who was going to pick it up. This one goes right under the leg of Spitaleri and over to first for the out from Pena.
Now batting for the Pioneers, the center fielder number 23, Rob Andrioli.
That was a more difficult play than you'd think for Pena, as Spitaleri, a wise and savvy veteran player, tried not to interfere with the ball. Of course, that would be an out, as we're going to have an intentional walk here. They're going to let Rob Andrioli, with 2 outs in this 9th inning, head to first base. And he's disappointed, but again, when you're a guy that hits .368 with 40 RBI, opposing teams just can't take a chance that you're going to put the bat on the ball. And for Andrioli, that would be his first hit of the day. He was 0 for 3 coming in. But still, the pedigree of a season does matter. And unlike in the majors when you can take an intentional walk with just a head nod, that rule has not trickled down to the many, and by that I mean the 3 different divisions of college baseball. And it looks like Cebeda's day might be done. It could just be a little conversation exactly how to attack the designated hitter, Anthony Vadlika. But to go back to that play with Pena and Spitaleri, the savvy vet, standing in front of Pena, could have taken Pena's focus off the ball, as Spitaleri kind of at the last minute just moved out of the way with a hop, skip, and a step. But Pena was able to stay focused, forced Spitaleri to dive back to second base, and then threw it over to first for the out. Top 9 here, runners at first and second, 2 outs. A spot in the ECC Championship Final on the line. Sophomore Anthony Vadlika, the right-handed batter. He takes strike 1. Right on the inside part of the plate. The .275 hitter. 0 for 3 on the day. Cepeda steps off. Just trying to keep Spitaleri just a tad honest. This one will go through. Spitaleri on his way home. The throw coming in. It's not going to be there in time. The Pioneers score the first run of the game in the top of the 9th inning. An RBI single scores Joe Spitaleri. The man of the hour, Anthony Vadlika, after a decision to give an intentional walk to Rob Andrioli, who now stands at third base.
Pioneers, the first baseman, number 20, Zach Fritz.
1-0. Pioneers lead the Spartans here in the winner's bracket, Game 5. Upcoming after this one. And the Spartans now know that they got to close out the top of the 9th, and then they've got to get at least 1 run across. Zach Fritz takes a big cut at that first strike. Cepeda seemed to calm down now. That's 2 quick ones to Zach Fritz. And Fritz goes down on 3 straight pitches from Cepeda. Cepeda's only allowed 5 hits through 9 innings, yet the damage is done. Joe Spitaleri was able to score on the RBI single from Anthony Vadlika. 1-0. The score, Pioneers lead the Spartans, and Spartans with 3 outs left to do some damage of their own.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
STAC's last hope here in the winner's bracket before they have to face Malloy just a few short moments after this one. So no rest for the weary. STAC right now being 3 hit by Noah Lorenzo, who's pitching a gem of a performance. And STAC relying on the top of the order. Joseph Pena working with a 2-1 count right now with Juan Adorno on deck and Bobby Morse, the 3-hitter, batting third in this inning. A 3-1 count, not the way Lorenzo would have liked to start. And Lorenzo only at 99 pitches. Pena hits it out of play down the left field line. Pena 0 for 3, a guy who bats .407. So certainly, if you were to use the old adage of a guy who's due, Pena fouls this one off as well. Now a full count. It's 3-2 on the junior from Brooklyn, New York. And he'll be followed by the redshirt junior from Brooklyn, New York, as he takes ball 4. So tying run is on first with no outs, and the winning run steps to the plate. Just to reset here, bottom of the 9th inning. LIU Post scored on an Anthony Rajlika RBI single to score Joe Spitaleri. We've got the tying run for STAC on first, and Juan Adorno, the batter, represents the winning run. He shows shows bunt as he takes ball 1. Number 32, the new pitcher, Dan D'Aghiello, leads the conference in saves with 9, hits the mid-90s with his fastball, 28 strikeouts in just 18 innings pitched, and the number 2 prospect in all of Division II baseball. D'Aghiello delivers, the powerful right-handed pitcher. And D'Aghiello unable to find the strike zone that time. The 2-1 count on Adorno. He shows bunt early. And he pops that one up. Goes into the Pioneers dugout. So now it's 2-2. So now Adorno's going to have to swing away. Again, a .358 hitter. Only 1 home run this year. And just 8 RBI. But as we mentioned, Adorno was limited. As he takes ball 3. Now a full count. Again, he was limited to just 35 games this year. He did miss 16, did the Red Shirt Jr. D'Aghiello in the stretch. Pena going, and Pena now in scoring position. Pioneers thought they could have got the strike him out, throw him out. But while Adorno did go down on strikes, Pena found himself at second base. D'Aghiello. That's the first strike on Bobby Morse. So with 1 out, it'll come down to Bobby Morse or Anthony Scoreless. Morse pops this one up. It keeps moving. And just at the Pioneers dugout fence, it's caught by Fritz.
Now batting for the Spartans, the third baseman, number 38, Anthony Scoreless.
Scoreless, the last hope for STAC, at least in this one. Again, this is a double elimination tournament. So victory does not mean the end for you. If you're STAC, they'll play Malloy next. Big swing and a miss on that cut by Scoreless. 0-3 on the day. D'Aghiello just 2 strikes away from sending his team to the ECC final. That one's hit, though, into right field. Coming home is Pena. The throw is going to keep Pena at third base. Pena stopped on a dime when he saw how good that throw from Ren was.
Now batting for STAC, the right fielder, number 47, Giovanni Ding-Kong.
What a matchup this is now. The tying run sits on third base in Pena. The winning run is at first. Arguably the best hitter in the entire conference, Giovanni Ding-Kong up to bat. And the best closer in the conference, almost without argument. Jagiello just beat him on a fastball that was assuredly somewhere in the low to mid-90s. So it's 0-1 on Ding Kong. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Jagiello. Again, Ding Kong misses. Ding Kong takes a breath. Steps into the box. Jagiello in the stretch. He deals. Strike 3, called looking. Ding Kong strikes out, and he'll have to get the bat in a few minutes again because STAC is the team that will be playing Malloy in a few short moments after falling to LIU Post, who find themselves in the final after a 1-0 defeat of the number 1 seed in the STAC Spartans here in game number 4 of the ECC championship. And in a few short moments, we're going to have the opportunity to have at least Noah Lorenzo and possibly Anthony Vajlika, joined by Shannon Dewar. And we will have that in just a short moment. Again, don't go anywhere here as we hear from the players on a 1-0 victory over STAC by LIU Post that puts them directly into the final. back here after that 1-0 win for LIU Post. They were led by their starting pitcher in Noah Lorenzo, who went 8+ with 8 strikeouts, 3 looking, 2 walks, allowed just 3 hits in this one, and he's standing by with Shannon Dewar.
LIU Post advances to the ECC Championship after defeating St. Thomas Aquinas 1-0. Here with me I have LIU Post pitcher Noah Lorenzo. Noah, you had 8 shutout innings. How does it feel?
It's crazy, honestly. If you would have told me in the beginning of the year we were going to be here, I wouldn't have believed you. It's remarkable to be part of a group like this, and we're family, you know? So I'm really happy to see us in the championship. We've worked super hard.
And it showed out there today. STAC has been a huge competitor for you guys all season long. You have been back and forth with winning. So just going up against them today, how does it feel to just get that win and move on?
Well, a week or two ago we played them, and they beat us pretty good. So it was good today. They're a great team. You know, the lineup's great, the pitching's great, coaching's great. So it was really great just to get a win. 1-0, 2-0, however it came. It was just good to get a win today.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
So again, that was Noah Lorenzo, and his line just one more time: 8+ innings, 8 strikeouts, 3 of which were looking, 2 walks, just 3 hits in 8 shutout innings. Again, it was zeros across the board as Dan Jagiello came in to finish business in the 9th. Next up, though, was the guy who had the RBI on the 1 run scored by the Pioneers that wound up being enough for the 1-0 win. He was 1 for 4 for the day with that RBI that scored. Joe Spinelli, the sophomore catcher but designated hitter today, is now standing by Anthony Vajlika with Shannon Dewar.
Anthony, you hit the ball to get your teammate on the base for the lone run to win the game. Was there any motivation behind that hit? Because they walked the batter in front of you. So what was your motivation?
Well, we had to do it for Noah. He pitched a fantastic game, kept us in the game the whole time. We kept grinding. Cepeda did a great job, didn't make a mistake until, I would say, that last pitch. And when they walked Rob, I knew I had to make him pay for it.
So you actually snapped STAC's 11-game winning streak and now continue a 4-game winning streak of your own. What was the game plan for today?
Just take it one game at a time, one at bat at a time. We knew we were going to get to him eventually, and Noah just kept us in the game, like I said. It's great game.
Now, are there any thoughts going into the championship?
Just do what you got to do to win. That's it. We got a great pitcher in James Varela on the mound, and let's just win it.
All right, congratulations. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Shannon. As again, that was Noah Lorenzo, as well as Anthony Vajlika, who got the game-winning RBI in that one. Noah Lorenzo again going 8+ and 8 shutout innings, as LIU Post will now find themselves in the final, and that should be tomorrow against either STAC or Malloy. And due to rain, that could also be Sunday as well. So stay tuned as you wait for updates. But in fact, just stay tuned right here with the ECC, as we've got one more game and the final game of the day upcoming. It'll be the Malloy Lions, who you saw defeat Bridgeport 6-4 in game 1 of today's action. And of course, these STAC Spartans are going to have to turn things around in a hurry if they're going to defeat the Malloy Lions and find themselves in that final to meet LIU Post once again in what will be then a double elimination, where LIU Post have not lost yet. So they'll have to pick up 2 losses if another team is to take the ECC crown away from them. Well, for myself, Dan Hilton, and everybody else involved in game number 2, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with game number 3 in a few short minutes.